Hello, welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're covering Stage 3 of Desert Brutality 2020 in the Armored Plus P Division, Stage Riot Control. While this is the third stage of Desert Brutality 2020, it was technically my first stage. And it's the first day of shooting, and like the other 2 days of shooting, it is bitterly cold out. It's running right around the mid-20s when we get started on this stage. Now, on this stage, what you had to do is you started out with a riot shield in your weak hand, your pistol in your strong hand, and you had 5 popper targets, and you had to hold the shield in front of you, reach around, look through the viewing part, and engage those targets with your pistol. And I gotta say, on this run, a whole lot easier with the modern technology I was using. Shooting an H9 with a red dot optic on it was a whole lot easier than Browning high power and traditional iron sights. So, after you got those poppers out of the way, you abandoned the shield, you put your pistol in a bucket, and then you went to a series of firing positions marked by tires over on the rifle portion of the stage. First one's a tire lying on the stage. Rule is your hand or the weapon had to be in contact with the tire while you're fighting. Luckily on my H-car I had a Magpul bipod, just deployed the bipod, set the bipod on the tire, and that's where my problems began. Bipod did great. Rifle actually functioned fairly well on this part of the stage, or this one obstacle in the stage. I, like a dumb idiot, had left my scope magnification on full power, 6x. And you're at about 70 yards from the target you're engaging. That's just way too much magnification. I mean, I just overdid it. So finding the target was difficult. Then, I'm firing an H-car, about an 18-inch barrel, and 30-06, no muzzle flash on it, or flash suppressor. You'd fire that thing, you get this big fireball coming out of it that obscured the scope, and then the recoil of the gun would take you off target. And once you recover from that, then you're back on target, and it's like, okay, now I gotta find it again. And then boom, you get your next shot. But I got through that first tire, okay, didn't drop too many rounds. The one thing I did have is the cold was awful on my camera. If you recall watching my video about this stage on Retro Heavy, I had no video for you. Cold killed everything. Well, on this stage, cold killed my aim cam. Normally when you turn that thing on, you get bzz, bzz, tells you it's running. Well, this time when I turned it on the cold, it was like bzz, bzz. And it started, and it didn't get any useful video at all. Matter of fact, it had basically died before I got to the rifle portion. And the camera had gotten bumped by the recoil or something, so instead of being kind of near my eye, it was like directly in my eyes. I lined up on the scope, so I had to fiddle with that to get it out of the way. And you kind of see that on the video with my hand blocking the GoPro. So that cost some time. But got off that first tire, got over to the second tire. Now the second tire is standing on end. And the rule there is you can't move the tire, and you can't stick your weapon through the tire. And there's a very good reason for that. Because if you got your weapon through the tire, then you could pivot from one axis to the other of the range and engage your targets. And what they're trying to do with that offset of not putting your muzzle through the tire, it's forcing you to reposition yourself and adding complication to the stage. For me, it did add complication because I got into a bad and uncomfortable firing position, and my offset of the scope from the bore was good, but the scope's looking at tire, and I had to completely reposition. Then I had a problem that was going to plague me on every stage of this match. A hard hit on the primer, and just the round didn't go off. So you have to clear that. Another round goes down, and it's clearly bad quality manufacture, and it's just not enough to cycle the gun properly. Another malfunction, got to clear it. But eventually I get the 4 hits I needed to get. I've exhausted the magazine, ditch it, get my other magazine out, and run it up to the third tire, of which I had to do everything at the second tire all over again, and ran out of time. So part out on this stage, and missed a bunch of hits, which just not good. So it really racked up the penalties on this stage. But it is what it is. Go ahead, take a look at my run.
All right, shoot, you have any questions for me? No. Understand the course of fire? I do. Oh, yeah. Shooter, are you ready? Ready. Stand by. Ryan! Hit! 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 Yep, in the bucket. Yep, put the shield down. Watch yourself. There you go. Move. Downrange.
The percussion coming off of that was outrageous.
It was.
Through the tire?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, so this made for a bittersweet stage in the fact that when I did it in retro heavy with an FAL and a Browning high power, I actually completed the stage with a pretty good time and a lot of time to spare. Here using an ultra modern rifle or a heavily modernized BAR essentially, but still ultra modern and ultra accurate and a great rifle and a super modern pistol, and I parred out. Man, just frustrating. But such is life, you know, things on the clock happen and you got to just deal with them. All right, since I parred out, I can't claim I had the greatest run ever. Go ahead and take a look at my teammate here who actually had a pretty good run and finished the stage before the buzzer went off.
All right. Shoot a little bit more to your side, please.
Sorry.
Oh, there you go. All right, shooter, do you understand the course of fire?
I do. Left to right, right to left, doesn't matter.
Does not matter.
Shooter's
Does not
choice.
matter. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got any questions? Other? All right, right there. Shooter, are you ready?
Ready.
Stand by.
Stop missing.
Way low.
Am I hit way low?
Yeah. Hit! Hit! Right. Hit! 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 In the bucket, yep. In the bucket. All right, put it down. One hand touch the front. Hit! 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 Move. Muzzle down range. Down range.
fact, this shows an interesting compare and contrast, because I ran the stage and my pistol portion was pretty easy. 6 shots, 5 hits that were required, and I'm off to the rifle thing, and a series of rifle malfunctions and errors on my own part eat up time, and I only get halfway through the stage. My buddy, who is not as good as pistol shot as me, it takes him a full magazine to get through the pistol portion, and then he gets over to the rifle section, but his rifle functions flawlessly, and he gets his hits pretty quick, and that enables him to get to the end of the stage. So it shows a unique dichotomy where doing really good on pistol didn't really make any difference for me in the end, because honestly, the rate I was progressing and the malfunctions I was experiencing, even if all the time was available to me to do just the rifle portion, probably still would have parred out. However, my buddy, who had a little trouble with the pistol, was able to make up for it on the rifle side and get in there before the stage ended. So good on him. We hope you're enjoying this coverage of Desert Brutality 2020. Please tune in tomorrow for Stage 4.